Hello everyone and welcome to today's webinar, Online Fitness Business Secrets. My name is Maike Kumstel. I'm the Industry Relations and Content Manager for FIBO USA and I'm moderating today's presentation. But before we start, I really want to take a minute and acknowledge the tragic events that are currently taking place here in the US. And I really want to highlight that at FIBO USA, everybody is included. Diversity and inclusion have always been part of our core values. Also, we really appreciate you for making the time to attend this webinar, despite everything that's going on. That being said, let's talk about some housekeeping notes for this webinar. We are recording today's webinar, and a link of the recording will be sent to you tomorrow. If you're having difficulty hearing us and you're listening through your computer, please check that your speaker volume is turned up and message us through the chat box if you're still having any issues. The chat box is located on the right side of your screen. You can always ask questions throughout the same chat box at any time, but we will also have some designated time for Q&A at the end of the session. And now I would like to introduce our speaker, Sean Garner. Sean is really one of the top fitness professionals based in Miami, and his interest in fitness actually started as he was preparing to become a firefighter. That actually led to his passion in helping others, and he decided to start his first gym. Since then, he has owned and managed several fitness facilities, has been named one of the top trainers in the world by Men's Health magazine, and produced multiple digital fitness products. Recently, after seeing what the online space can provide fitness and professionals and clients, he founded EntreFit, where he guides fit pros and gym owners to create or scale online offerings as a component of their businesses. So as you can tell, he's basically done it all, and I'm really excited what he will teach us today. So Sean, take it away.
Hey guys, what's up? Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here and present with you today. I'm really honored, been a part of the FIBO organization here for a couple of years now, and really excited to dive into this with you today. I told them whenever we started, I had two main goals for today. One is that this is the most mind-blowing, information-loaded webinar they've done so far, and two, it's the one where people laugh the most. So we're gonna have a good time, but make sure you guys grab a notepad because we're gonna be covering a lot of information, and I wanna make sure that you guys are able to take some notes from today and take action and start applying this for your business. And let's have a good time doing it, guys. This should be a lot of fun as we dive into this. Make sure as we're going through this, if you have any questions, drop them down here in the chat below so I can answer them. If they're relevant to that topic, I'll try and get to them right then and there. But I definitely wanna try and go through this as fast as possible, and I talk fast, so get ready to write fast because I want to make sure that we have plenty of time at the end of this conversation for you guys to ask those specific questions so you can get some marching orders, some next steps, so you can take action on this stuff and start making lives change today. So guys, quick overview of who I am. Thank you so much for that introduction. The big thing I always want people to know is that I'm actually a real fitness professional just like you guys. You know, I'm not just a digital marketing person or a business owner that got into fitness. It's actually the exact opposite, right? So I've owned multiple gyms. I've worked in pro strength and conditioning with a minor league pro hockey team. You know, I've worked for a lot of really cool brands, personal training, managing facilities, like I said, owning and buying and selling multiple facilities, doing a lot of stuff in the online space. I'm creating my own successful online training business to get to work with some of the really cool big brands, like being a fitness advisor and content creator for Men's Health magazine. So I got to do some really cool stuff. And I say all that stuff not to like brag or be showy, but I always want people to know, like, I'm a real fitness professional just like you. So all the stuff that we're going over today is not theory. This is stuff that you can take action on, and it's actually a proven system just like with your training methodologies, right? The system works as long as you take action and apply on it. I also currently work as the head of creator development for the Playbook app. We're a very large, successful fitness app where we work with creators from all over the world, helping them grow these very successful online subscription-based fitness business. So like I said, this stuff that we're doing today is not theory. It's not just some ideas that I have. This is stuff that we've proven works to work anywhere from just starting out with fitness to multi-million-dollar online fitness businesses. So what we're going to be covering today is the 3-step framework that I've kind of created and discovered throughout my years in the fitness industry, and more specifically on the online space, that no matter where your business is, whether you're just starting out and creating your online business, or you're already doing several $100,000 a year to a couple $1 million a year, and you want to take it and scale it, it still all falls into the framework. It's just you might obviously want to tweak and add more fuel to the fire on certain areas. So what I want to start off with is showing you what most fitness professionals and what you may be doing now, and why you're kind of bumping your head and you're getting frustrated as to why it's not working. So this is my Vanna whiteboard. So this is what I see most fitness professionals doing now when it comes to their online fitness business, is they're focusing on the systems, then their offer, then their community. So that is the right things to do, but it's in the completely opposite order. It should be just like this. It should be your community, your offer, then your system. So why this old way doesn't work as far as focusing on the systems, offer, and community is because you're probably running into this right now, right? So obviously with this quarantine situation, it's made you have to amp up and really look into online training as an only option for honestly everybody in the world for the most part right now. But the very first thing that you probably thought in your mind is, okay, I've got to get a website, or I've got to get an app. And you're starting to look at these different systems that you need for doing your online training, right? The most common question I get is, well, what app should I use, or how should I build my website out? Like, when you're asking those questions, they're good questions to ask, but you're asking them in the wrong order, because you're doing all of that stuff because that's how you built your in-person business, right? Maybe you went and you wanted to start a facility or start a training business, so you went and you focused on your system. You built this facility out, or like on the online space, your website. And then after that, you found, well, what's my offer going to be? Okay, so how am I going to package these training sessions together? What's my price points going to be? Am I going to do group fitness, personal training? Like, you start constructing your offer. You did the same exact thing on your online. You're like, what's my signature training system that I'm going to do inside this system? Then after you built those things out, then you're like, okay, where's everybody at? I thought if I built it, they would come. But that didn't happen for you. It's because you focused on your clients and your consumers last, and you put your training offer, your systems, your business ahead of them. And whenever you flip it, that's whenever kind of the big aha moment comes, and that's whenever your business is really going to start growing. The second big mistake that I see real fitness professionals make online is they don't have a content strategy. You see some of these like fitness influencer people posting certain things, and so you think that if I want to grow my online business, man, I should just shoot a bunch of workout videos, post them online, and snap a bunch of selfies with me eating healthy food, and that's going to grow my online business. That's not the case. What you do is you need to have a strategy, and it all is going to come back to one thing that we're going to lead us off with is, so like I said, you're doing the right things typically, but in the wrong order. And when you flip everything backwards or in the correct order, you're going to watch your systems and your business grow like never before. So grab your notepads. I hope you guys are ready, because what we're going to do is dive into the very first thing that you need in order to have a successful online fitness business, and that is your community. So your community, the big thing that you have to focus on that is your who. You might hear some people refer to it as like your avatar, your dream client, your target client, however you want to refer to them. You have to have a who, because when you understand how important this isn't like one of those like rah cheerleader type things, like it just sounds good. No, this drives every decision you make in your business should come back to your who. And I see fitness professionals struggle with this all the time. And I understand, because I'm just like you guys, like you think, well, I've got all these training skills, I can help everybody, so I should market to everybody. That doesn't work. just because you have the skills to train a wide variety of clients does not mean it's best practices in marketing to try to market to a bunch of different clients. So whenever you're trying to identify your who and your target client, there's always like a little bit of FOMO, like, right? Like the fear of missing out. You're like, oh, I don't want to exclude anybody. I can help everybody. Let me make sure that you understand this point. There's a big difference between who you work with and who you market to. So me, for example, whenever I first started doing my online training, I owned a sports performance gym. I was working with pro athletes. And so I wanted to do online training for athletes. So I started posting all this stuff. Hey guys, I'm accepting new applications for my online athlete program, all of this stuff. Guess what? How many I sold? 0. I was putting out my content. I was telling people, no, I want to work with athletes. I want to work with athletes, but I didn't have any athletes come to me. You know who I had? Started having people come to me that were 35 to 45-year-old dads that wanted some joint friendly programming. And I was so confused. And then once I learned these two, I asked myself these two simple questions and really kind of discovered my who, that's when my business really started growing. So I was going after athletes, right? That's who I thought I wanted to work with. But what I found is that the content I was actually creating was attracting a completely different audience. So these are two questions that I want you guys to ask yourself when coming up with your dream client or your target client and who you should work with. So the very first question is this: who is your favorite client currently? Who's the favorite client? Like if you train this person all day long, you would be amped up, so excited, full of energy, full of life, and that would be the highlight of your day, is just training that same person all day. The second question, and these might be the same person, is what is the type of client that if you trained them, you know you're going to crush it with them and get great results? So the reason why those two questions are important to ask is because, one, if you like going up, if you're training the people that you like to work with, showing up to work every day is a lot of fun. The second thing is, if you are training people that you just crush it with and you know you get great results with, it's really fun to show up to work when you're a winner. So if you're going up to work every day and you're creating content and you're serving people that, one, you're passionate about helping, and two, you get really great results with, it makes work so much more fun, and it honestly makes it a lot easier to market to. So whenever I ask myself those two questions, I found out that was me. Because what you'll find is, as you dig into this, a little pro tip for you if you're really struggling with this, 99% of the time, your who or your dream target client is a version or variation of yourself, plus or minus 5 to 10 years. Like, this isn't a bad thing. This is actually a good thing, because it makes you be able to relate to them more in stories, which is a great way to create content for your dream target client. Now, again, this part is important, but don't have like paralysis by analysis, where you don't do anything because you're like, I can't do anything until I figure this part out. No, you need to have a direction of which you're heading. But at the same time, if you're just starting out with this is okay. Like, you're a small business, you can pivot. You're not like Nike or Coca-Cola, like these huge corporations where it's really hard to turn the direction of their company. Like, you're a small business right now, especially if you're just starting out in the online space. So it's easy for you to pivot. So try something, see if it works. If it doesn't work, find out what type of audience is responding to your content and start creating offers and everything for them. So once you have identified who you want to start working with, you need to start creating content for them. And this is the second thing on the community section that I see fitness professionals struggle with all the time, is just not good at it. Like, you're really good trainers, but when it comes to creating content, you're doing one of two different things. Is one, what you're doing is you're posting what you see other personal trainers or gyms or like these fitness influencers post, or two, you're posting things that only highlight or glorify you. Trust me, I know, I did it all the time. You've got a big class, right, in your gym, so you want to snap a photo of this huge class so you can say you're showing your community, but maybe secretly you're just trying to show the other gyms in the area how busy your gym is. Or you have that one like pro athlete that stops by one time of the year, so you snap the picture with them to make it seem like they're always there. Like, that's not going to add value to the people you serve. That's the key to all of your content that you create. People always want to know, well, what type of workout should I be posting, or you know, what type of recipe should I be creating? Here's the secret to content creation. Everything you post online or create should be to attract or add value to the who, to the person, the group of clients that you are called to serve. It's not about you. It's not about like showcasing yourself. You're the guide for these clients. You're not the hero. You're trying to make them the hero to their own story. So you want to be able to create content that makes them say, hey, that sounds like they're speaking directly to me. And that's why it's so important to have a who, is because you want to be able to enter the conversation in your customer's mind with your content. Because here's another pro secret for marketing. If you're able to describe your client's problem better than them, they will automatically assume that you have the answer or you have the solution for them. So the more you know about who that you want to work with, the better content you're going to be able to attract to make them feel and see you as the true expert for this area, and help to grow your online community. So one thing to know also with your content is that content is not just an Instagram post, is not just a social media post. Your content is any type of medium or anything that you put out online. So this can be like the copy that you're using on your website. This can be emails. This is obviously direct messaging conversations that you're having. That's what content is. And so don't think about that this just applies to like an Instagram post or Facebook. This applies to everything that you do, the messaging in your facility, even the messaging in your email marketing. It all goes back to your who. So you can create the content that adds value to them and attracts them and makes you be seen as the expert. Now, one quick thing that I want to make sure that you do understand, going back to the who just a little bit, when it comes to the who, people often focus too much on the demographics and not the psychographics. So let me explain the difference. Most people, when they think they have to have a dream client or an avatar, they think like, okay, they've got to be like a 35 to 45-year-old male, you know, that they're working business owners, they're dads, maybe they're former athletes, and they're saying all these things that describe them and their demographics. What you really want to do is focus on the psychographics. So that is, again, like I said earlier, the conversations that they're having in their mind. What questions or problems is this person struggling with? And that drives the demographics. So what are the things that they are struggling with mentally in their mind that maybe they're too afraid to even tell their spouse? Like maybe it's speaking to those things like where, you know, a wife who's too embarrassed to let her husband see her in her bikini. Like maybe it's, you know, the dad that is embarrassed about taking his shirt off at the pool. Maybe it's, you know, the athlete, the high school athlete that's embarrassed to try out for the sports team because he doesn't feel athletic enough. Like whatever it is, the conversations that they're really having in their mind, those are the things that you need to be speaking to with your content, is understanding that. And then that helps to drive and create the demographic. So focus more on the conversations and the struggles that your dream clients are dealing with. Speak, create content to add value to those things, and that will help shape and drive your demographics for everything that you create. Now, like I said, content creates your community, and there's a lot to cover just on the subject of content creation. But I got something free that I'm really excited to share with you guys. But if you want access to it, you got to wait till the end. But it's actually a mini course that I've created. It's called the Fit Pro Content Framework. It's the 3-step framework for helping you to create your content that gets you clients. We show you in this mini course how to attract, or who you should be creating content for, and help you walk you through exactly who to identify as your dream client. Second thing we show you is what you should be posting. We give you frameworks, templates that you can use to get the messaging across for that dream client. And the third thing is we show you how. We show you some apps, services, techniques to use to make posts and content that does stand out online, so it makes you be seen as the expert and attracts your dream client. So you got to stick around for that. We're going to give you the link to that at the end, because once you guys figure out and you build this community out, you're going to start attracting more and more people to you. So as you're creating this, initially you're going to have what's called like your hot or your warm traffic, or warm leads. It's these people that already know you. Maybe they bought something from you in the past, and so it's a lot easier to convert those people into your sales system. But then where you really start growing and scaling your business is whenever you find that you're able to speak so clearly to a specific target audience that you're able to convert what's called cold traffic. So whenever you're able to talk to a certain, demographic or psychographic questions that people are asking themselves that don't even know who you are, but you speak to them and you're able to convert them into your sales process, that's whenever you've really got, that's the difference between a business that makes a couple of $1,000s a month and hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like that is where you really find the secret sauce between like who makes it in the online space. So a quick thing on converting the cold traffic over is you need to be able to, a thing to start thinking about in your community is creating lead generators for them. So this is going to be a free piece of content that you can create for them that speaks to them, adds value, and gives them a quick win or helps them overcome their first obstacle for getting them to ascend up in your training coaching offer. So the very first time they see a post from you or they see an offer come out from you, they're not going to want to train with you. You've got to be able to nurture that lead and get them from cold to warm to hot to wanting to purchase from you. How you do that is by creating something like a lead generator and in your content setup, having things like email marketing campaigns and stuff like that. Because once you build this true community, you've got this awesome content machine rolling out, then guess what? They're going to want an offer from you. And so that's step number 2. So step number 1 is you've got to create a community. You do that through your content. Once you've built this awesome community, they're going to want an offer for you. And so that's step number 2 for this online secrets framework is creating an offer. So what is an offer? An offer is nothing more than what you're actually selling. It's the goods, the services that you're packaging together to serve your target client. So some of the common pitfalls that I see fit pros make when coming up with their offer, they fall into some of the same traps that they do with their in-person business. So what they'll do is they'll go back to trading their time for money. So one of the benefits to a online training business, especially once you set it up successfully, is it's very easy to scale it with your time and financially. But what happens is it's not able to scale properly because the fitness professional didn't structure their offer appropriately at the beginning. So what they'll do, let's say, let's make it easy. Let's say a personal training session, you charge $60 an hour for, okay? So you're coming up with your offer, your online coaching offer here, and you figure like, okay, well, it's only gonna take me about, let's say like 15 minutes for a coaching call. It's gonna, for an onboarding call, and then it might take a 30 minutes, let's say, to write a month program for them, and then maybe another 15 to 30 minutes here and there for doing some stuff. So okay, so it's only going to be about 60 an hour to an hour and a half of my time each month. So well, I should just charge them $60 to $90 for that program. But what you have to realize is you're just falling into the same trap, right? How can you scale your time and your finances even bigger if you're still having to dedicate that much time to those people? So whenever you are constructing your offer, what you have to think about is less of your time and more on the results. One of the big mindset shifts as far as like pricing and sales and creating offer that you need to have is when you're in the online space, they're not buying your time necessarily, they're buying a result, right? If you could get somebody to lose 15 pounds in 3 months or 2 months, which is more appealing, right? They don't care about how long it takes, or they want the result, not your amount of time, right? So that's one of the mistakes that I see people making whenever they're creating their offer online. The second one is not understanding the value you bring. Guys, you are real fitness professionals. There are people online, just so you know, I hope this fires you up, because this is why I do what I do, is because I am frustrated with where the industry is going in the online space. And we're losing as real fitness professionals. There are these fitness influencers online literally making millions of dollars with online training, and they have trained 0 people in real life. But what they figured out is this whole marketing system. So you're a better trainer than them, but they're crushing you online and making way more money than you because they figured this out. This is my whole reason for what I do, is because I want to help the real fitness professionals step up and learn this online business, online marketing side, so you can take your true skills, your passion, your craft of fitness, and take it to other people. So you need to realize the value that you bring. Your value is not based upon your social media size or anything like that, guys. The value is based upon the amount of lives that you can actually change and impact. So that's what you need to understand also whenever you're constructing this offer is you're more than a social media following. I get so frustrated whenever I have fitness professionals say, oh, I can't charge that much because I don't have a big as following as this person. It has zero to do with that. It comes down 100% to the amount of value that you give to those people that you're called to serve. So that's the other big thing that I see is, guys, understanding your self-worth and knowing the value that you bring to the marketplace. And let's figure this marketing stuff out so you can go out there and change and impact more lives. The other thing, big mistake I see whenever fitness professionals are creating their offer is they're trying to sell another workout or nutrition program. I'm gonna say I don't know every single person that's out here right now watching this, but I'm gonna assume, again, no offense, most people could probably find just as good, if not better, workout and nutrition program online for free than what you could create. So what you have to realize is, like I said earlier, before your value, before you get too up in arms and that, it's like, he doesn't know my certs. Listen, this is what I mean by that. Your consumers, you need to know your value is more than a workout program and more than a nutrition program. Your value is the ability to coach. That's what these other fitness influencers don't have. They don't have your ability to coach people. And that is what we know people really truly need. You can give somebody the world's best workout program, the world's best nutrition program, but if they don't have a coach to support them, to hold them accountable, to help them when roadblocks come up, they're not going to be successful. So you need to realize your offer is more than that. It's your ability to coach. So how do you create your offer, guys? Well, hey, guess what? It goes back to your who. I beat this into my business coaching clients all the time. Everything that you do, that's why that's the foundation of what you do, goes back to your who. What type of offer would best serve your target client? What things do they need? Do they need nutrition program? Do they need help with sleep strategies? Do they need coaching? Do they need group coaching calls, one-on-one coaching calls? Like when you're creating your offer, imagine you have, like, I get a whiteboard just like this and I just start brainstorming, write down every single thing that you could do to add value and to serve your target client. Go crazy with this, right? Like your size of your offer is only limited to your imagination. You can even put on there, man, they're gonna pay for a private helicopter and I'm gonna fly to their house and I could train them there. Like, go crazy with it, guys. Then after you've kind of done all that, then you start scratching off like, okay, that's pretty unrealistic. I'm not gonna fly on a helicopter to go to their house and train them. Like, you start marking out off the stuff and you start packaging up what's called an offer. So it becomes more than just this workout and nutrition program. It becomes a true coaching package and an offer where you're thinking about a result that they're going to get from this and not the amount of time that they get from you. So just an example of some things to think about and brainstorm are, what are some things that you already have or that you could create for them that would add value to them that you could package up into this offer? So for example, again, like, could you help them with a sleep guide? Helping them with sleep management? Could you help them with stress management? Could you give them like a morning breath work routine? Could you help them with mindset stuff with maybe like a daily gratitude journal? Like all the stuff that we say is like the other side of fitness. Like, we know obviously they need a great workout program. They need a great nutrition program and they need you for coaching, but what do they really need? For me, for example, a story about whenever I started is I'm a tech guy. Like, I love technology. So whenever I first started, after I pivoted, I told you earlier, I started working for, the Project Dad Bod and working with dads online. I was like, man, I was thinking the old way. I need to build an app. Spent thousands of dollars, built this app, thought it was awesome, but guess what? I didn't think or even ask my who what they wanted and what would best serve them. Do you know how many of them love the app? Like 2 of them. Everybody else was like, nah, honestly, like, I'm in finance, I like spreadsheets. If you could just send me a spreadsheet, that would actually work best for me. Like, I literally spent thousands of dollars building this app out, creating this offer that I thought was awesome. But again, I made it all about me and not about my target client, my dream client. And ended up wasting a lot of time and money building that out. So as you're constructing this, guys, and packaging all of this stuff down, remember that you're creating this offer and you want to determine it, the price on it, based upon the value that you can give. And whenever, just a quick note on this, whenever you're first starting out, there's literally dozens of ways to do your online fitness business. So don't think there's like a one size fits all. People ask me like, what's the best app to use? Or, how should I, what should I price my online training? Guys, it depends. It's like asking like, what's the best workout, right? It just depends on what your needs are. So what I always tell people is start with the end in mind when you're creating your business and your offer. Like, what do you want your life to be like? How much income do you want to make from this? How much time do you want to dedicate to this? Again, what would best serve the clients that you've already attracted? Because what I see a lot of people do is they're like, man, I'm going to go all in and online. This is going to be what I do now. But they don't even know how to like properly even check their email. So be a little bit realistic on the type of business that you want to structure. One of the quickest ways to make income, especially if you have a small audience, small email list, and just starting out, is online personal training. So it's one-on-one training that people are paying a higher price point. You need less clients to generate income quickly, but with that comes its own, I wouldn't say problems, but things that go with it. So for doing something like that, they're not just going to buy it off a website. You're going to have to get them on a phone call so you can talk to them, especially if they don't know you very well. So you got to do sales calls. Obviously, that's going to be more of your time invested online. So if you don't like standing in front of a computer all day, probably not going to want to do that. So then on the flip side is, if you have a bigger audience or you want more of a hands-off approach, you can create something like a membership model or a membership site. You can sell ebooks, PDFs, that kind of a thing, where it's more of a hands-off, like, hey, this is just something I'm going to do, offer it as an upsell to my current clients. Like, there's a lot of different ways you can structure the offers. So don't get trapped into one. Because there's not a right way, it's a what's best for you. So consider all of that stuff whenever you're packaging and creating your offer, because once you do that, and again, if you're always going back to your who and what adds value to them, this is going to become like an irresistible offer, and it's going to be impossible for them to want to resist this or price shop, right? Because you can't price shop. It's really easy to price shop if you're like, oh, I'm a personal trainer and I charge $60 an hour. Next door, they charge $80 an hour. Like, people are just you're gonna have people come through and just price shop. But if you put together a true offer, like package all of this stuff together, like, it's impossible to price shop. And so that's what's gonna help you, again, speak to your target audience, add more value to them, and serve them. So after you have created your first offer, you're gonna create something, this is way down the road, something you can do depending on where you're at in your business, called a value ladder. So I learned this from one of my mentors, Russell Brunson. So a value ladder, imagine here, let me erase this, you've got a ladder here, just like this. Okay, and so based upon where your customer and your relationship is at, is where they're at on the value ladder. So this would be like the lower price point. This right here would be your higher price point. So as you get them to ascend up, you can charge them and create other offers. Your offers all always go back to your who. So everything you create, you're not creating like, whenever I say create multiple offers, I'm not saying like you're going to create a program for athletes, then you're going to create a program for stay-at-home moms, then you're going to create a program for like physique competitions. That's not what I mean by this. What I mean by this is creating multiple products and offerings for your who and target clients. So this is what it would look like. The top right up here, this might be like a online personal training, right? It's going to be a higher ticket offering, to where it's a premium price point. Obviously, they get a lot more time and access to you, quicker results, higher value, so it's up here. This right here, middle tier, this might be like a group coaching program or a subscription-based program. Again, a middle-based price point, but less of your time, but still good value. Then down here at the bottom, that might be like your free email opt-in, like a smoothie guide or something like that, just to get them to ascend up here. But your goal is always to get them to ascend up your value ladder. There's a few, I have very few rules when working with my business coaching clients, but one of them is you're not allowed to create another offer until you've made at least $100,000 off of one. Reason being, you haven't maximized everything with that one offer if you haven't been able to make $100,000 with it yet. So what I see a lot of people do, and they kind of get trapped in this loop, and you'll see it online, people always launching something new. Like, that's because they haven't figured out two things. One, how to add value up and down the ladder for a specific target demographic, or two, convert cold traffic. So they're just trying to create new offers for the people that they've been able to attract, and they're unable to attract new people. So you don't want to create more offers and have more hooks out there until you're able to really maximize and know that one works. Then you know if that one works, you've already attracted those people, and then you add other levels of service that adds value to them and different problems that they're going to solve. So if you try and do that too, why I say $100,000 is because by the time you've made it that much money, you can afford to really start investing in good things like a good sales funnel, paid traffic, stuff like that, to really maximize these other offers that you create. And if you try and do this too early, this is a mistake I see a lot. Another mistake I see a lot of fitness professionals make. If you try and do this too early, you're just going to cannibalize your business, and you're going to have too many offers and too many price points for people to pick anything. And here's another pro tip: the confused buyer never buys. They're not going to buy anything if they've got too many options. So don't give them too many options, especially whenever you're just starting out. Give them one thing to buy, crush it with them, get incredible results with them, and build that business up. Then once it's built up, then you can start adding different levels to your value ladder. So first two things we've talked about so far, guys. Number one for our 3-step framework is our community. The second thing we have talked about is we talked about our offer. Now, the third thing that we're going to be talking about is the system. So I hope that you guys are starting to see why we build things out like this in the way we do, and why the backwards way doesn't really work that well. So the systems is the last thing that you want to focus on. But as your business grows, this becomes very important, because you do not want to become the blocker for your own business. You would hate it if your business wasn't able to grow and scale because of you, right? You don't want to be the thing that holds your business back. So you need to be able to create systems that support everything else that we've just talked about. So for example, whenever you're creating out and building out your systems, you need to think about like, okay, well, what's my marketing or lead generating system going to be, right? You just can't go through and just wing all this stuff out. You need to have templates. You need to have structure around everything that you do. You just don't go wing a nutrition program or wing a workout, right? You have a system and framework that you follow. That makes it to where it's repeatable. So if you want to truly grow and scale a business, you need to have proven systems that are repeatable and scalable. So as you grow, as your team grows, as your business grows, you're able to just keep adding more fuel to the fire. So like, what systems do you have set up for your marketing? So this could look like building a website, building a sales funnel. Another sub note, I told you one of my rules. Another one of my rules is I don't allow my clients to build a website or sales funnel. If you already have one, that's fine, but don't worry about it until you got at least 5 to 10 clients, or 5 to 10 one-on-one personal training clients, because reason being is one is income, right? That means I see people dump tens of thousands of dollars in these websites that look really cool. It's all about them, but they're not converting. Reason why it's not converting is because they haven't trained enough people online to get them to write your website for you. So what you're going to actually do is, by going through this framework and this process, if you follow this system, your customers actually write your copy for you. And so that makes it, when more people like them come to your website, it's like, man, it sounds like this person's speaking directly to me. It's because you've gone through so many of these clients that you've tried to attract, where you know the problems that they have, you know the objections that they're going to have, you know the problems they're dealing with, so you're going to be able to speak to that in your sales copy. So it makes it seem like you're talking directly to them. I see way too many fitness professionals that their website is just a bunch of pictures of them and all about them. Guys, I'm sorry, nobody cares. They care about themselves. Like, how are you going to help them? So don't make your website about you, make it about them. And you can't make it about them until you know who you want to serve. And then once you keep serving them, they will write your copy for you. And that makes it so much easier. That'll increase conversions and makes everything better. So so that's a note on websites and sales funnels. Don't build them until you've proven your own system right. The second thing is like email marketing. Like, okay, do you have everything set up to where you're going to start getting leads coming to you, people buying your products when you're not even doing anything? And that's the coolest thing in the world. Whenever you wake up and you get email notifications that people have bought your product while you were sleeping, that means you've got a good lead generating system where people are coming in, they're getting some type of opt-in, they're getting an email sequence afterwards that's getting them to nurture, know, like, and trust you even more, to where they want to ascend up your value ladder from that free thing to buying with you. And you didn't even have to do anything but create the system that just adds fuel to the fire. We also need a system for content creation, right? Like, whenever you're doing this online, guys, content is huge. It breeds everything. One of the things that I was told by one of my mentors, which is very, very true, like, until your business is making over $1 million a year, 80 to 90% of your time is going to be on marketing and sales. So you're going to have to be doing lots and lots of content creation, because what you have to realize in the online space, whenever you're creating this content, those are those micro interactions that people don't typically see. Like, right? Like, so When somebody joins your gym or they're walking in the gym, they see you smiling at other members. They see you walking up, handing towels to people. They see you giving tips to people across the gym floor. If you're not posting anything online, they don't know. The people online only know and see what you allow them to know and see. So that's one of the things that you need to realize with the content. It's not posting content just because you're supposed to be posting content. No, it's how people get to know you. It's how they get to trust you. Like, how are you adding value to them with that content? So in order to make that be successful and to be able to continually keep up with it, so you're not feeling like, oh, you got to come up with a post today. No, you got to have systems to make content creation easy with batch shooting content and everything. So that way it just becomes part of your new normal routine here with your business. Also, you need to have systems set up around sales. So what's your sales strategy look like? You know, right now you might be a solopreneur doing all of this stuff on your own, or maybe you own a gym and you got a sales team that you can utilize. You know, what's that process going to be like from a lead coming in to how they're nurtured, to how a call's booked, or to how they're pushed through your value ladder to buy the product? Like, you have to have systems for this stuff. If you just try and figure it out as you go, you're going to get frustrated. The other thing is client fulfillment. So what happens from that point in time of your client saying they want to train with you to getting that first training session or getting that first program booked? That dead time right there is probably the most vital time in the customer's experience with you, because they've just handed you their credit card, they've just said yes, they've just overcome so much fear, so many obstacles in their own mind, and then they're just kind of waiting there. If you don't immediately have systems set up for good quality client fulfillment in order to get them feeling comfortable with the purchase that they just made, that's going to save your business from getting lots of chargebacks and people requesting refunds because they went home, they talked to their spouse about it, they just got nervous, and they want a refund. So you need to make sure you have systems set up for client fulfillment so they feel comfortable, they instantly get resources that they need and next steps that they need for being successful in your online coaching program. The other thing is you need to have systems set up for coaching calls and client management. Like, how's that process going to work? Is it like an open office where your clients can just call you at any time? Because I'll tell you this, that's a problem waiting to happen, especially when the online space, like, you're always on. So you need to make sure that there's structure around how your client should communicate with you and contact with you, because as this thing grows and blows up, you don't want, you know, dozens of clients having your cell phone number. And tell you that from personal experience from owning a gym, I always thought that was cool. I'm going to give all the clients of the gym my cell phone number, so if they ever have any issues, they can call me. Well, the clients loved it, but my wife did not. So make sure that you're structuring your business and you're building these systems out around it. A really cool piece of advice that I was given whenever I was starting out on the online is, you know, they say that most people, what they do is they build the business online and then they try to fit their life inside of it, right? So instead, what you should do is build your framework of your box of like your life, and then build your business inside of that. So for example, me, I don't work on Sundays. That's my family day. Like, I'm gonna bust my butt 6 days a week, but Sundays, I won't even check email. I very rarely even post anything or get on social media, but that's the box that I built my business in. And I feel good about that because I've got all these other systems to support it. What I see a lot of people struggle with, especially when they're coming into the online is 24/7. Like, I train clients from all over the world. I work with fitness professionals from all over the world. So that means they're always up and they're always on, but it doesn't mean necessarily you should be, because if you don't set up your box or your framework and have your systems in place, you're gonna burn yourself out. And all the same exact struggles that you had for your in-person business is, you know, maybe getting fatigued, feeling like you're always working, not charging your worth, all that same stuff can happen online if you don't build the box, if you don't have the systems or the framework to support it. And then the last thing is your coaches and staff, guys. As this thing grows, you have to think about this more of just selling an online training program. Like, there's fitness professionals that I know that have full teams of trainers that work for them and underneath them that are doing millions of dollars a year online, because they're treating it less like a online training program and more like a virtual gym. So it's really cool how you're able to structure and build whole teams underneath yourself, just like your in-person business. And what's really cool is it needs less people to do that, because trainers are able to scale their time and everything as well. So it just multiplies your business out, because it's not time for money anymore. So it's not like they can only train, you know, 8 to 12 people a day, because that's how many sessions they can fit in. Train so many more than that. The business is so much more scalable, but you have to have systems for onboarding those staff, making sure they're keeping up with their clients, and really kind of making sure that the system is still running even whenever you're not there, because you don't want to create a job, you want to create a business. So those are the systems that you need to be thinking about. Like I said, most people, they go and they think about that stuff first. They're like, man, I got to build my website so I can launch my online training. And then I got to figure out how I'm going to price this thing. What app am I going to use? How am I going to give it to them? What deliverables do they get? And then they go, man, I got to find these clients. That's, I hope now that you see by going through this process that it is so much easier and you will be so much more successful if you flip it back around. So guys, let's recap what we talked about today. So we talked about the very first thing that you need to be focusing on is your community. You need to discover who you want to work with, so that way you can speak directly to them in the content that you're creating. You got to create content to build that community up, because that is going to drive everything in your business. The next thing that we talked about was your offer, right? You got to have an awesome offer, and how you do that is by packaging up all the things that you have that adds value to your target client and speaks to them and helps them solve their problems. Then once you've created this awesome community and incredible offer, you've got to build out the systems that help support your entire business, right? Anything from website, sales funnels, email marketing, content creation, sales, lead generating, staff support, client fulfillment, all that stuff. You got to build that to support it. Then once you guys have that, it honestly just becomes an evolving circle. You're always adding more fuel to the fire. You're finding out what content is working under your community, and then you're taking the systems of ad management and you're putting more into your ad spend to grow that part of it. You're getting more offers that you're finding out new ways and different levels to add value to that target client. Then you're building out the systems and the fulfillment and everything to support that. And when you keep it in that 3-step framework and you start thinking about your business that way, it makes it really easy to manage and to know what areas you should be focusing on and working for growing this online business for you. So, man, guys, I hope that added value to you and it was helpful. Obviously, I can't show you everything about growing an online business in a webinar. That was like a very high-level overview for being successful online. That's about the equivalent of telling somebody, if you want to lose weight or get fit, you need to eat right and exercise. Like, that's how basic this stuff was, because it gets really, really deep. But I don't want to overwhelm you guys. So I told you earlier at the beginning that I was going to give you guys access to this course. This is the link for this course, guys. It's a free Facebook group that we have. It's called Fit Pro Online Secrets. I mean, in that group, we're going to make sure you guys have that in the link here below. In that group, you guys can find access under the unit section for this entire 3-step framework for creating content that gets you clients. Then maybe today, if we were talking and you're like, hey, I like this guy, he might have something, I'd like to work with him, love the opportunity to talk to you about my business coaching program. You guys can just go to EntreFitCoaching.com, check that out, book a time to talk with me, and we'll see if this would be a good fit. And then definitely, I want to connect with everybody. So I'm very active mostly on Instagram, so make sure you follow me and connect with me there. Shoot me a DM, let me know you're on the webinar here, what you got out of it. It's just at Sean Garner. Again, the links for all that stuff's down here below. So guys, thank you so much for the opportunity to speak and share with you guys today. This is my heart and my passion, is helping real fitness professionals just like you grow and scale their online fitness business. So thank you so much, and as always, you got to have an awesome day. So now let's see, like, what questions do we have, guys? Let's see what we got down here.
Yeah, guys, if you have any questions, put them in the chat box. Sean is here for you.
So here's one right here. So I get this one all the time too. So the most common question that I'm getting right now is, obviously, gyms are shut down or they're starting to open back up, but everybody wants to know, what app should they use? What app should I use to deliver my workouts? Again, you're asking the wrong question. Or I should say, there's a better question to ask. It comes down to, what do you want your offer to be? Because there's a lot of different options as far as the tech piece. So don't get lost in the tech piece from getting you to start serving your clients. Like, guys, you should, like, I hope this presentation was like a light bulb moment for you. You don't need all this fancy stuff to start making money and start training people online. You're a trainer. What you do doesn't change, just how you do it. So, like, if you already have, most likely, some of you guys already have a community. It's your current client roster. Utilize them for creating like hybrid fusion offers for them, or your gym members. You already have a community built, right? Create an offer for them. What do they need? Ask them, like, what do they need right now? Do they want one-on-one workouts? Do they want group coaching program? Do they want follow along workouts? Like, what do you want to do? And then you price that out and create an offer for them, and then just build the systems that support it. Because you don't even need an app and stuff like that whenever you're first starting out. This just to get, I feel like sometimes I have to give people permission. And it's like, if you see what, it's like the 4-minute mile story, you know, whenever he broke the 4-minute mile, then everybody else broke it. So this is an encouraging story for you. I have clients that are incredible trainers and nutritionists, and they sell an 8-week nutrition and coaching program for $2,400. They don't deliver it through an app. They deliver it through Google Sheets and YouTube videos and one-on-one calls on Facebook Messenger. $2,400, so $1,200 a month for a Google spreadsheet, YouTube videos, and all free resources. So stop using the excuse of like, oh, I've got to build my website, I've got to get my app and stuff. No, you have a skill. Like I said, the fitness influencers and stuff, like I said earlier, that you saw, they need those things. They need the flashy stuff because they don't have the ability to coach. You guys have the ability to coach. So the deliverables, yes, they're important. Definitely you're going to need those stuff starting out, or once the business gets growing. The starting out, you don't need those things because you got something they don't. You have the ability to coach and change people's life. So use that, start getting people results, then use that money to start funding the website and the build out and everything like that. So I get all ranty sometimes.
I love it. I think that's really encouraging. I just became a personal trainer, and I mean, it's overwhelming, everything you see out there, but it's just encouraging. Focus on what you can and, you know, what you know you're best at. And yeah, awesome. Love
Yeah.
it. Cool.
What else? Anything else? I'm assuming it's everybody's minds are just so blown right now, so that's okay.
You said that's just an overview. I'm like, oh my God, that's so much content, but it was awesome. Thank you so much. I think it was really helpful, like awesome. And I really just want to thank you again, Sean. And I hope I'll see you in November at FIBA USA, 6th through the 8th. And yeah, guys, look out for our email, the follow-up email with, you know, everything Sean just mentioned and the recording and stuff. And yeah, thank you and have an awesome day.
Thank you.